And welcome to Security Showdown, where egos clash and the gloves come off. Tonight's matchup, broker-dealers versus investment advisors. One sells you what you want, the other claims to act in your best interest. Who's the hero and who's the villain? Let's meet our fighters, Sarah, who believes in commissions make the world go round, and Mark, who swears by fees and fiduciary duty. Let's rumble. Why am I always talking to cartoons? This is a goddamn circus. What has my life become? Okay, Sarah, let's start with you. Broker-dealers often get a bad rap for being sales-focused. What's your defense? Defense? I don't need a defense. Broker-dealers give clients exactly what they ask for, products that work for their goals. We're like a buffet. You pick what you want and we serve it up. Investment advisors, on the other hand, are like those restaurants with no menu. Trust the chef, they say, while charging you triple for something you don't even want. Buffet? Try a used car lot. Broker-dealers push whatever pays them the biggest commission. Meanwhile, investment advisors are fiduciaries. We put our clients' interests first, not our paychecks. Sarah's team is all about conflicts of interest wrapped in a shiny sales pitch. Oh, here we go again with the fiduciary sermon. Newsflash, Mark, just because you charge a fee doesn't make you a goddamn saint. At least I'm upfront about how I get paid. Your precious fees are just commissions with a bow on top. Okay, Mark, let's talk conflicts of interest. Investment advisors claim to avoid them. True? Absolutely. As fiduciaries, we are legally obligated to act in our client's best interest and disclose any conflicts. Broker-dealers, on the other hand, just have to meet the suitability standard, which is basically code for good enough. If Sarah sells you a product that works for you but lines her pockets, that's fine by her rules. Suitability isn't good enough, Mark. It's tailored to the client's needs. And let's not pretend you're conflict-free. You charge fees based on assets under management, so you're incentivized to tell clients, don't pay off your mortgage, give me the money instead. You're just as biased, but you dress it up in fancy legal terms. Wow, Sarah, that's rich coming from someone who gets kickbacks for pushing mutual funds with 12B1 fees. At least my fees are transparent. Your conflicts are hidden in fine print so small, even lawyers need a magnifying glass. Kickbacks? You mean the commissions I earn for providing real value to my clients? Sorry if that bothers you, Mark. Maybe you should try working in sales. You might learn how to talk to actual people. Let's dig into the rules, Sarah. Broker-dealers are regulated by FINRA, but Mark's camp has the SEC. Who's got the better oversight? That's right, Ken. Broker-dealers are under the watchful eyes of both FINRA and the SEC, which means people got double the oversight to protect investors and keep things running smoothly. Investment advisors, on the other hand, only deal with the SEC, which is so busy with hedge funds and corporate filings, they barely have time for Mark and his ivory tower pals. Double the oversight? That's a stretch, Sarah. FINRA is a self-regulation at its best, like letting teenagers set their own curfews. Sure, the SEC looks over your shoulders, but let's not pretend FINRA is run by the same firms it's supposed to be policing. At least the SEC holds us to one clear, consistent fiduciary standard. One clear, consistent fiduciary standard? You mean the SEC telling you to slap best interests on everything and call it a day? FINRA actually understands how the industry works. We're held to a suitability standard that ensures clients get what they need without drowning in unnecessary paperwork. Suitability? Oh, you mean the good enough standard? Broker-dealers only have to make sure the product isn't terrible. Meanwhile, investment advisors are required to act in their client's best interest. That's where we're trusted more, because we're not playing both sides of the table. Trusted more? Please. Your fiduciary halo doesn't mean squat when your AUM fees pile up year after year, even if the client never makes a single change. At least broker-dealers only get paid when we actually do something. Your clients are paying for a glorified lecture. Let's paint a picture, Sarah. What's a scenario where the broker-dealer is the better choice? That's easy. Say a client wants to buy a specific stock or bond. They don't need any long-term plan. They just need execution. Why should they pay Mark's fees when all they want to do is buy Apple stock? Broker-dealers get it done fast with no unnecessary fluff. Right, because nothing says personalized service like selling a product and disappearing until the next trade. If a client wants real financial planning, retirement strategies, tax efficiency, estate planning, they need an investment advisor. Broker-dealers are fine if you're okay being a number on a spreadsheet. And investment advisors are fine if you just like paying someone to tell you, just hold on to this ETF and cross your fingers. You're not planning. You're just stalling. Final thoughts. Why is your model better, Mark? Because we're fiduciaries. We're legally required to act in our client's best interest. Broker-dealers might have a place for basic transactions, but if you want someone to actually care about your goals, you need an investment advisor. Care about your goals? That's cute, Mark. My client wants result, not hand-holding. Broker-dealers get the job done efficiently and affordably. If you want someone to charge you for overcomplicating things, go with Mark. If you want action, come to us. Action, more like sales taxes disguised as advice. And investment advisors are all talk, no results. Enjoy your compliance paperwork, Mark. I'll be out here actually helping people. Well, there you have it. Broker-dealers promise quick results and tailored products, while investment advisors swear by fiduciary duty and the long-term planning. Whether you prefer Sarah's fire or Mark's moral superiority, the choice is yours. Join us next time on Security Showdown, where the stakes are high and the insults are higher. I need a new job. And that was awesome. I think that was good. I think that was super talented. Those three panelists were just amazing. And they sounded familiar. They sounded like me. Okay. So hope everyone's doing well. Happy Thursday. We are doing crazy. I do see a couple of people join where is it? I think a couple of people join the study groups, which is awesome. To now we're 60. Remember, tonight is NASA night, baby. This is series 63, 65, and 66 only. If you pass the 7, okay. Marianne, yes, we'll talk. I know I saw the email. I will try to respond to it tomorrow morning. I've just been busy all day. Okay. She emailed me. She had a week to study, and she's taking it Monday, which is nuts. Okay. Now, again, if you're taking this, if you're coming on to see you pass the 7 essay, I'm happy to have you on there. But tonight's NASA night. Couple free things. Don't forget to check out the free Facebook group that has 7,500 people in it. Super active. Chats for everyone. It's called FINRA Exam and FINRA and NASA Exam Test Prep Network. You can't even say the words. It's FINRA and NASA Exam Test Prep Network. It's great. It has so many people in it, and they're all helping each other out. I mean, literally, I think 9 people came on and talked about how they passed today. It was outstanding. And then I think we had one person who missed, and it was a lot of support. They gave him advice. He ended up making friends, like doing a study group. He's going to rock this thing the next time. Okay. Don't forget to check out Brandon Rith over at Basic Wisdom. If you need tutoring, obviously my website is, I have me and I have another tutor. I'm adding another one next week who just passed the 24. And I should have a 79 tutor in the next 2 weeks or so. And then I hope to have a CFP and a CFA tutor by the end of April or May. So I have all the shit covered. Should work. Now, I do the memberships. Remember, for you guys, this is only one. If you join, don't pay the 19, don't pay the 50. You pay the $25 serious study time method. That will get you. You get to see the old classes that we have, and we meet at 6 p.m. Eastern so tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Eastern every Friday night. We go over 60, 63, 65, 66 stuff. It's outstanding. I literally it's usually between 8 and maybe 15 people, never really more than that. I don't cap it, so you can come and don't worry about not getting in there. So we're getting there. Now, let's get into the beginning. Keyshawn. There we go. McCurdy. There we go. Okay. Marvin's channel. Let's go. If you just recently did 67 doing the 60th innings. Not really. So was there anything missing from is there anything in the 63 that's not in the 65? No. It's just that it's so heavily weighted toward the regs and the ethics that there's nothing missing. Just go a little deep. You have to go a little deeper on it because the entire test is regs. So everything there, but I'm hoping that you at least took. When did you take? Did you say when you're taking it? Next, okay. By the way, congrats on the 65. I assume that's a pass because we know everyone passes here. It should be. You make sure you have the book. Don't use the 65. Don't use the 63 portion of the 65 to pass. You got to get your own book because it's a little bit, since it's only regs, it's a deeper dive on it. Okay. Maryam, I know I saw that. I will try to get back to you. Here's the thing. If you want tutoring, I don't know how much I can help you, but I do have tutors I have a tutor on the website that you can go to and they can meet. He's really good at the last minute Series 7 stuff. Okay.
Ken, put my email in there and I can.
Yep. That's true.
Maryam, she wants to.
There you go.
Reach out to me.
Boom. So Maryam, if you want to reach out to he's much more responsive than I am. And he can send you on the way and get you set up into the website. So if you want to do that, because I don't know, I probably don't have any time between now and probably the next 2 weeks. So, but I mean, if you want to talk for 10 minutes and get guidance, that's great. But if you want to meet with someone who charges about half of what I charge, go check out, go to my website, and you can email Jeff and he can send you the right way, and send you the right videos that'll help you and find out where you are.
Just send me a message.
The other thing is, if we can't use mine, go check out Michael Weiss. He's really good. I don't know if he has openings on the weekends. He doesn't like teaching on the weekends. He's always a Monday through Friday guy, but he has a CFA. So he's a smart guy and he knows his stuff cool. Okay. Back to the chat. Okay. I love it. That's awesome. Carson, that is Dalton. That's on Tuesday nights. The SIE Live is on Tuesday nights. Well, let me go back to this. I'm jumping around. See, it's the ADD case. That's awesome. On to the 66, baby. Now, my advice to you, first of all, let me not to go too crazy. No, that's not the right one.
Gotta get dip. Gotta get dip.
I love it. Okay, now, so Carson, so what I'm going to tell you the advice. That's awesome. You passed the 7. I'm going to ask you, were there any surprises on there? That's what I really care about. Were there any surprises on that channel? Now, on that test, if you're studying for the 66, you're starting, take a day off, okay? Good. It's awesome. You're probably, hopefully drunk by now. Spend the next day or two just in celebrating, and then maybe Sunday, open up the book if you got it already. If not, obviously you have to wait. Just watch my videos. Focus on reading for the first week or two. If you got at least more than 2 weeks to do this, you got to focus on the reading. Watch my videos in the 66 playlist. Now, here's a confusing part. I cannot upload the same video with 2 different titles. They give me shit for that. So if you're taking the 65 or 66, any video that says 63 or 66 is okay for you. I just talked to one of my students. He goes, well, I didn't do them because it said 63. I told you. If it says anything in that 65, 66 playlist is good for you. Don't go, oh, I don't want to read that because it's a 63. No, the 63 videos are the regs portion of the 65 and 66 because I can't put the same video up twice. Okay. But focus on reading the first 2. Valerie, that is awesome. That is, and we got a question coming up, which is good. I love it. Okay. That is outstanding. Nope, we're not going to do that one. That's boom, Valerie. I love it. That's awesome. That's what I love that one. I'm going to leave that one up. No matter what happens, anything I rotate, I'm keeping Holiday Road. Okay. Makes me remember back in the old days when I was a kid and I used to watch fun movies and I had no responsibilities. Valerie, that's awesome. Now, as I tell everyone, yes, I helped you, but you did the work. I keep saying that. I get this all the time. Oh, you saved me. Fine. I might have put you over the top. But if you don't do the work, you're not passing. We know that, right? You know that if you didn't do the work, you wouldn't have passed it, Valerie. And then you got this. Okay. Yeah, Annie, I probably will. I got a line of I got like a list, like a queue, if you want to call it. Where is it? And it's like literally this. Boom. It's all these videos, okay? I'm trying to get through some 66, some 7, some overlap. I'm trying to get there. I may do a 66 test again. I don't know. Those are easy and lazy to do, and people like them for some reason. Okay. Okay. Ooh, here we go. There's a good one. Of course, Mazzy. Of course you can listen in. You're the one I was talking about the 63, 65. Mazzy's the one I met today, and he was reading, and I get the point. So if it's 63 and 65, they work for any of these exams. Okay. Now, granted, if you're taking the 63, don't read the 65, 66 stuff, or you'll be like, what the hell happened? But if you're taking the 65 and 66, you can read anything that has a 6 in front of it. Okay. What a great question. Okay. Okay. You see Lonry. We got to get to him. You see Lonry passed? So if you roll down a little bit, Jeff. Okay. Okay. Boom, Cody. I appreciate it. Thank you. Everyone's like, thank you for doing the live stream. I love these things. Like literally, I have 2 nights a week that is my favorite nights. And Jeff's pushing me to do more of these. He really is. He wants me to do like every night, I think. He wants me to do like from 9 to like midnight every night. So now he'd be like, I'll be on for the first half hour. I'm going to go to bed while you do another 2.5 hours. So here's the thing. So this is easy. Now, I always said this was cruel. Whenever they did this, they should have known 80 years later, people be confusing them. Literally, it's the Investment Advisors Act of 40 and the Investment Company Act of 40. You don't think they could have waited 1 year? Okay, so the Investment Company Act of 40 is all about mutual funds. Face amount certificate, management committees, really, but I think mutual funds. Face amount certificates, unit investment trusts, mutual funds, which are open-ended, closed-end, and ETFs, not REITs, okay? That's what that's about. Now, the Investment Advisor Act is about investment advisors. They are firms that give advice as a business, or as a business, advice as a business for compensation. So that's really what it's about. It's that we are Investment Company Act, think mutual funds. Investment Advisors Act, think investment advisors. Now, let's make it very clear. The Investment Advisors Act pretty much covers federally covered advisors. Now, states follow the state rules, but as far as like with the whole testimonial thing, it's like fluff, right? Because technically only the federal covered advisors allow you to use the testimonials. But some of the states say we're just going to use the federal covered advisors rules. So technically, some state advisors, and depending on what state you're on, can use testimonials, but most can't. Okay. Lonry, that is outstanding. Now, I don't mind doing these music sometimes because it gives more people time to get their questions in, right? Because everyone should be putting their questions in there, right? Okay, now, Lonry, I love you. You're so active in that group. I hope you stay and help people out. You and Drew. Drew's an old, Drew, I think he played at Fairleigh Dickinson. He played lacrosse, and that's how we on this live, we've been connecting on that because my son plays at Montclair State. He was just playing, he played Drew. They played Drew. He either played at Fairleigh Dickinson or Drew, one of the two. But we played FDU last year. We played Drew this year. Those games I love because they're literally a mile from my house. Okay. It's when he goes to Virginia, I'm like, you know what? I think I'll watch him on TV. I don't love him that much. Okay. Slightly different kind of question. I have a stupidly strong shot at an FSA role, not a full. Okay. I want to hear your take on this, Jeff. You see this? Can you read it or no? I just unmuted you, so you have to answer.
What's that?
Do you hear this? What is it? The problem is, I think you're watching the YouTube, right?
I'm trying to.
Is there like a 30-second delay?
Yeah.
Yes. So can you read this question?
Yes. Do you want me to read it out loud?
No. I want to hear your take.
An FSA role, not fully fledged FA. Wealth management client associate role. Big fish, small pond, small fish, big pond. I don't know.
I know it's tough, right? So here's the thing. Here's what I say. This is what I say, Gear Grinder. So the question is, do you want to be a small little fish and a big broker dealer, or a big one and a small broker dealer? So here's the thing. A lot of the little ones, you're going to have to start bringing in business. Unless if you work for an FA, for a smaller FA, and they're going to retire and they're going to give you their business, or they're going to handhold you and teach you everything, that works. Okay. But the problem is, if they have a bad turn, they may fire you. So
let me give another angle.
What?
Can I give another angle on this?
Go ahead.
Okay, so if you work at a big firm like a JP Morgan, Merrill Lynch, you're probably going to be exposed to more financial products and market knowledge. If you go to a smaller RIA, where it's maybe one person, they might be more narrowly focused. They might have a very strong opinion right from the beginning. I think in a larger firm, from what I've experienced, you get a really good education early on, and then you can figure out what your specialty might be.
Right. That's fair. So I found out that if you go to a big firm and you don't hook, and you're young and you don't hook up with a partner, like a bigger team, you're screwed.
You're never going to, yeah.
Right. So if you do want to work into the wealth management financial advisor role, Yes, you might get there quicker on a smaller place. Okay, you might hit that smaller, but again, like you said, they might just do preferreds or bonds. Like they're definitely like my daughter worked for a guy. He literally loved distressed debt and IPOs. That's what he did, and that's fine, and that's there. But you're only being exposed to that. Now she learned a lot because basically it's just two or three people. So you had to put a bunch of hats on. But if you work for a big firm and you're doing a customer relationship stuff, CRA, CSA, all that stuff, you're seeing everything. You're learning the back end, the front end. You're meeting people. Like one of my students, he's been trying to get into IB, investment banking, which I kept telling him not to do. But he got a job with an FA, worked with the team, and then about a month ago, because he worked at JP, he met some people like just from whatever, walking around, talking to people. He ended up with a job. He's now an investment banker, and he's working on the 79, which is just pulling my hair out, whatever hair I have. But the point is, if you work at the big place, there's more room to move around maybe. But the problem is you're also a little bit beholden to the firm, meaning that if they have a bad year, like if they say, I've seen it so many times where we like down on the floor, we had a killer year. We were way over budget. But then in December, they go, okay, here's our numbers. You look like you're looking at, a 60% of your salary bonus or 80% of your salary bonus. And then in mid-January, they go, well, debt had a bad year. So that's going to cut into it. So you're only getting like 20% of your salary bonus. So the problem is with the big firm, you're subject to that. So I know I'm not helping you at all, but I'm just giving you both sides of it. I would say go to the bigger firm if you're going to hook up with a team. If you're going to be on your own and you have to learn, no. But it sounds like if you're a wealth management client associate, it sounds like you're going to be just supporting a team, which is perfect because that's how you're going to learn everything. Because if you're still learning the business, you are not good enough to get clients. You're not. You're much better off having a little bit of leeway that you don't have to worry about a quota. Like what is it? Merrill Lynch. Up to a couple of years ago, I like them, but you had to get 35 million under management within 3 years. Now, and they had targets, like you had to get 5 million in the first year, and then 10, and then they took your salary, and then they dropped your salary and upped your commission. So, but if you get the job, if you can move into the FA role, and for everyone on here, that's what they're looking for the most part. The FA job, once you get rolling, is one of the greatest jobs in the world. If you're rolling and you got a nice book of business or you buy a book of business, you inherit it, it is a cushy life. Yeah, you have to, a day like today, once in a while you got to sit there and stop people from jumping off.
This is an anomaly. This is not every day.
Right. And if you have ballsy people, this is a buying opportunity at some point. Maybe not now, maybe not today, maybe it's in 2 weeks, but at some point, okay. This is not investment advice. Do not take this advice. This is not the opinion. Okay. Now,
I think we should re-examine this topic on a separate podcast.
Yeah, exactly. We might do that. Yeah. That might be a good idea.
Yeah.
Okay. Lauren. Okay. Oh, Marvin, did you hear what I said? Oh, hold on. Did Marvin hear my answer? I hope so. I don't even know what I said. Okay. Boom, Lawrence, I know it. I know that you nailed it. Lauren, you were ready. You were absolutely ready. What can I do here? That's awesome, Lauren. Props to you. Snaps to everyone. Now, it's funny. Remember I told you after the live, somebody made a quote, can I love you, but it's too much extra. So is it the music? Is it me being a jerk? Is it the cursing? I don't know. Is it my personality coming through? I don't know. Whatever. Okay, Marvin, I don't know what your answer was. Hold on. So I hope you heard what I said. Okay. Where is it? Sarah just stepped out. I should have answered it just now, right? That, yes, there's everything on the 65 is on the 63, but you need to get their books. It's a, please call me Jeb. Okay. There you go.
I just put my email in there.
Okay, you did. Okay.
Yep.
Hopefully you'll show. Okay. Taking it in a day. Oh, hold on. I thought you were taking it Monday. Okay. Oh, okay. Got it. Okay. Okay, let me get back to this. Okay. Yeah. So that's the thing. For the 65, you might get an option question. You might get a DPP. So not really. Again, it's all basic shit. Like as far as the investment vehicle goes on the 65, other than mutual funds and annuities, I think it's very, very high level. Like one option question, maybe a few bond questions about current yield and stuff like that. So, okay. Wait a second. Wait, hold on. I'm confusing this. Hold on. Carson took what? So you took the 7 and you didn't. You got very little options math, but you must have got options. Okay. You must have definitely got some options. Okay. No, most U4 and U5 questions were probably taken care of on the SIE. They don't really do it that way. Okay. Okay. Simon, you're not doomed. You're fine. Oh, they're both with me. You see that? Both the jobs that this guy's looking for is with Merrill. Okay. I have the 66 American average, like 70 in Kaplan. You're not doomed at all. Look, Kaplan, there's no guarantee you're going to pass, right? There's never is. Right? You get 80s, right? Because I don't know if you're memorizing, if you're learning their tricks. But if you're scoring 70s, you know enough to pass, okay? I can't say that enough. If you're scoring 70s, you know enough to pass. I found out if I take my glasses off, I'm not distracted by the chat because I can't fucking read them. So if you have it tomorrow, you should be getting off the live. You should be getting some sleep. Go whatever you have to do to relax. Tomorrow morning, if you can, if you have STC, get the Crunch Time Facts. If not, watch my 2 quick and dirties, the 63 quick and dirty and the 65, 66 quick and dirty. They'll help you. You'll get points out of that and go beat this thing. You're fine. I mean, if you're in the 70s, you definitely know enough to pass, 100%. So Marianne, so hopefully Carson's helping you a little bit, but you got to make sure the options are down. And if you're not good with the options, join my membership because there's no way I'm not going to be able to do it in half an hour, especially. So I would say join the membership. It's $20. Start watching the videos tonight. That will save you most of the time. Just feeling okay about the options gives people confidence that they're less worried about the test. So hopefully she'll email you. Did you put your email in there?
I did.
Okay. So she's talking about add her email. Hopefully she'll email you. So Marianne, unless you want to email Carson too, but email Jeff and he'll get you on the right track. Okay.
Yeah, I'll put it back in there again.
Okay. Rihanna. Okay. Okay. Rihanna. That's great. Oh, is it Rihanna? Like Rye Bread Anna? Okay. That is outstanding. So now, here's a question, Rihanna. Are you done? Are you done with everything? That's the question. Are you done or do you still have the 65? Baby. Getting done with that, you feel alive, right? So you feel alive. If you're done with everything, it must be a great feeling. Like I always read about that when people are done, when their jobs are on the line and they're done with this stuff, okay? It's going to be, it's a great feeling. Like I've never had that because I did need to get it, but I was 20 at the time when I did it. It was many, 58, 20, 38 years ago, right? So 38, yeah, not 48, 38 years ago. Okay. Okay. Oh, Rihanna, the life and health only? Compared to this shit, that's a joke. You know what the best part of the life and health? If you fail it, you can take the next day. I had a girl, she used to play lacrosse at North Carolina. She was on the championships team. And she was smart. I got her through the SAE, the 7, the 63. And then she had a tough time with the life and health. So she just took it Monday. She took it Wednesday. She took it Friday. She passed it on Friday. She didn't even study that much. She just had to get it done. Okay. Okay, here we go. Let me go back up. Ivy, I know I missed you. Once in a while, I'll see you pop in and say hi. Hopefully, text me later this weekend and just text it to me because it's hard to talk on the phone. Tell me what happened, and we'll get you back on track, Ivy. Okay. Yes. Boom. Yes, exactly. Never had to study for this shit again until you get a promotion. And you're like, I get this all the time. I get the people go, I'll never have to take a test again. And then what happens 2 years later? Oh, I have to take the 24 all the time. It's like turn down that fucking promotion. Like the guy Mike who comes on, Mike LaRosa, you met. He took that just to make, he took all he didn't have to take any of these exams. And he took them all on his own. He failed a bunch of times, never gave up. But yeah, Laundry, please stay in the group and help people out. It makes people feel better when they see people who passed hanging out. It's like, give it back. Yeah. Right. Okay. Right. So this is the thing. So options, when you're practicing them, are so much worse. And I think on the real exam, they're so much better. Seriously. So look what he said. So Maryam's worried about the options, right? But it's much more about what they do. So find if you go to my options basics, Maryam, if you go to my options basics playlist, and then the options math one has about 9 or 10 videos in there that are not, you don't have to join the group for. They all, I have an option strategy guide, stuff like that. So knowing whether they're debit or credit or Widener exercise or, stuff like that is going to help you a lot. You can literally, I'm not saying this, but you could probably not do any options math and still get a 50% on the options, even if you said, fuck it, I'm not doing a single math. Usually options is about half math, half theory. Like if you're long stock, how do you hedge it? If you're short stock, how do you hedge that? Stuff like that. Now, that's a great question. So remember this. Okay. Now, so Maryam Imam is Jeb. I guess that's Jeb. Okay, so now, it's so funny being on here. It's so funny. Okay, so now, remember something. This is a great question. So for this could show up, and I'm only going to do for the 65, 66. I'm not going deep. I can do that on another night. Okay, so now, if I buy a call or sell a put, my break even is my cost basis. If I buy a put or sell a call, my break even is my proceeds. That's the deal, okay? If I buy a call or sell a put, my break even is cost basis. If I buy a put or sell a call, my break even is my proceeds. I don't think it'll go any deeper than that on there. Most of the time on the 65, 66, they want to know how you hedge. So if I'm long stock, I buy a call for protection. I buy a put for protection. I sell a call for income. That's it. If I'm short stock, I buy a call for protection or sell a put for income. That's it. For the most part on the 65, 66, other than break evens, that's probably all you have to do. Okay. I'm catching up to the end. Okay. That's okay. We're still studying, baby. We're going to get there. Okay. Hold on. So I'll say it again. Stop taking fucking phone calls when you're on my goddamn live. Put your phone away. Put it on silent. Put it on do not disturb. Now, anyway, everything on the 63 is on the 65. However, okay. Everything else, everything's on the 65 is on the 60. Could be. Let me do it this way. Anything on the 63 could be on the 65, right? So basically, the regs portion of the 65 is a 63. But get your own. Make sure you have a 63 book. Do not use the 63 portion of the 65 because the 63 book will have a deeper dive than the 65 will do because the entire thing is regs and ethics. Remember that. For everyone for the 63 and all the other exams too, but a lot for the 63. You need to make sure your ethics and prohibited activity is gold. You have to make sure that it's solid. You cannot be like, ooh, I'm not sure about ethics. You got to know that shit down cold. Okay. That's all right, Vic. We're going to get you through this. Okay. I love that. Gucci. You're Gucci, Simon. Simon, you're good. Okay. Cody. Okay. So it's not that big, but you can have some stuff like retirement. So for the 65, 66, retirement accounts, right? So retirement accounts are either qualified or not qualified. So if they're qualified, the money goes in pre-tax, it grows tax deferred, and then when you take it out, then you pay tax on everything because you never pay taxes on it. Non-qualified goes in after tax, and it grows tax deferred. So both qualified and not qualified grow tax deferred. I like it. Okay. But the thing is with the non-qualified, since you already pay tax on the contribution, you do not have to pay tax on it again. So keep that in mind. If you have a qualified plan, it goes in pre-tax. When you take it out, you pay tax on everything. Non-qualified plan, it goes in after tax and grows tax deferred, just like a qualified. But when you take it out, you only tax on the growth because you already pay taxes on the stuff you put in. Now, a Roth is wonderful. So a Roth, and these are questions that can pop up. A Roth, 529, and a Coverdell all do the same thing as far as tax goes. The money goes in after tax, it grows tax deferred, and then it comes out tax-free. Tax-free. I can't say that enough. It goes in after tax, it grows tax deferred, and then comes out tax-free. Roth and Coverdell are for college and stuff. Roth is for retirement. A regular IRA is just like a 401k in a way. You put money in pre-tax, it grows tax deferred, and you take it out, you pay tax on everything. Now remember something, it's taxed at ordinary income. It is not capital gains. Nothing retirement account or other deferred ever is capital gains. Think about why. They've been waiting, the IRS has been waiting between 5, 10, 15, 20 years to tax you. There's no way they're going to give you that better tax bracket. They want to nail you for the ordinary income, which is as high as 37%. One thing I want to bring up on the retirement accounts is there's an HSA and an FSA. You could get a question on this. An HSA and an FSA are both, you put money aside pre-tax for medical bills like co-pays, prescriptions, shit like that. Okay. It's so you can do that. Now, an FSA is run through your firm. And here's the problem with an FSA. If you don't use it by the end of the year, then you lose it. HSA, you put it in, it grows, you can invest it and it grows. And if you don't use it by the end of the year, you just roll it to the next year, which is kind of cool. And I saw a question on this. Now, let's talk about a couple of things. One, for an FSA, just need a job. For an HSA, you don't even have to have a job. It's just if you have a high deductible plan, that is when you have to. So a high deductible plan requires, you can only do an HSA if it's a high deductible plan. Let's talk about a couple of things. You can roll it over, you can invest it. If you don't use it, you can keep rolling and rolling and rolling it over. And once you turn 65, you can take it out for any reason. I really should do a video. There's a whole group of people, Jeff, I don't know, you know this, right? I think you do, that use HSA as retirement planning. So they use their HSA, and whatever they don't use, they throw it in and they let it grow. And then they save their receipts from all their plans, the copays and stuff. And then when they take it out when they're 65, they use it. They have tax-free growth. It's kind of cool. Okay.
I never knew that.
Yeah. I've been reading about it. I'm going to have to do a video on it on TikTok. I won't do it on YouTube because it doesn't apply, but from a TikTok and Instagram. And on that note, there's 2 other places you can go. I have TikTok. I broke 20,000 subscribers on there. Whatever you want to call it. TikTok, I'm a Series 7 Whisperer. And on Instagram, I'm a Series 7 Whisperer. Okay. Okay. I asked my wife if she bought anything, and she's like, everything's near her low, so she's looking into it. Okay, now she's the trader. Okay. Yeah, so if you've listened to any of my videos, what do I say to do the day before the test? No test the day before. Just like this, it gets in your head. How we got some more questions. That's good. See, I kind of go in depth so that people get to ask questions. So now, no, there's no confidence and there's no upside. So I'm so against taking tests the day before because there's no upside. You're not. If you pass, you're fine. I know where I am. Like you got a 73 and 79, and you weren't happy with that, right? So you had a 79 and 73 yesterday. You decided you weren't happy with it. So you took one today and got a 66. Now your confidence is fucked. But you're fine. You know your shit. You rushed it. You even said you rushed it. So don't do that. Don't rush it. Okay? Go through the crunch time facts if you have a cap. I think they have a quick sheet. Go watch my 2 quick and dirty videos. Get some sleep. Go take this test and beat the shit out of him. Come on next week and tell us how great you do. Okay, okay. Just finished the SDC book. My 65 schedule to take in 4 weeks. Sure, we can meet for tutoring. Just go on my website, man, or email Jeff. We can set it up. But just go to series7exam.org, look for some openings and book it, grab it, and let's go, baby. But more importantly, what should you do? You finish the exam. You finish the book. Now, First thing you do chapter quizzes. Literally, that's it. Do it for the first week. Since you have 4 weeks, let's do it right. For the first week to 10 days, chapter quizzes. Do 10 to 15 questions on each. Now, who'd you use? Use STC, I think, right? So you may start running out of questions. So I would say right now, tomorrow, go buy the Kaplan Q Bank. It's like 40, 50 bucks. And that adds another 4,000 questions to your arsenal. Do a chapter quiz on STC, 20 questions. Then do find that trying to figure out the same unit on Kaplan. Do that. If you are scored under 70, reread the chapter or watch a video. Then move on. Don't do it again. Just move on to the next one. You want to spend the next 8 to 10 days just doing chapter quizzes. Build up your, remember, use the quizzes to find your weakness. And that's my big thing about these exams. When you're taking practice quizzes, you're doing them to find your weakness. That's the thing. You're doing them to find your weakness. You're not doing them to now the last 4 or 5 days, yes, you want to pass. But before that, you're trying to expose where you're weak so you can attack it. That's the thing, because if you're doing questions and they're so easy and getting 90s, how do you know where you're weak and how are you going to improve? You got to work on them. Like the greatest teams in the world play tough teams because if you're a good team and you play a good team and you still win, they expose your weaknesses.
Can I add one more point to that?
Add it in.
When you read, after you get the question right or wrong, read the explanation and be able to figure out, like you might have answered the question correct, but for the wrong reasons. Make sure that you read the explanation and then look at the other answers and figure out why they were the wrong answers.
Right. You should absolutely be taking longer to go review the test than it took to take it. That is 100% a thing. You should be taking longer to review it than it took you to take it. And that the only way to do that is if you do what he said. You go through the right and the wrong and you figure out why you got it wrong and what the trick was. Okay. Real breezy. Breezy. Okay. Brazy, I know. Okay. Okay. Um, 63, week to 10 days. If you do an hour a day, well, let's sneak an hour and a half in there. Do an hour and a half a day and a few hours on the weekends, you should probably take this in 10 days. But the first thing you do is just read the book. And again, if it says TC, read it twice because it's short. I mean, it's 100 and something pages, right? Read it through, then start doing chapter quizzes. Once you're through the chapter quizzes, start doing finals. Now, here's as I tell everyone, and Maddie, listen to me on this one, right? Because she's taking it Monday. Your scores are going to suck. They're going to be way down here at first. It's like, it's amazing how the 63 goes. It's shitty scores, and then it's like one good, and then boom, it skyrockets. It's like a fucking arc. It's like a rocket. It's like a plane taking off. It's shitty, boom. So it doesn't gradually go up like with the 7 and the 66 and stuff. The 63 is literally like shitty. Oh, I get it, and it starts working. So that you're going to be fine that way, and especially if you can do an hour a day, try to get to an hour and a half, even if it means you watch videos on the commute or something like that, and then you get 3 hours on the weekends, you should be fine. But your first thing should be reading. Okay. Now, Maddie, your test is on Monday. That's great. I have a lot of if you do the you weren't part of an analyst class, right, Jeff?
No.
So what they do at these places, right? They put you in there. You've seen this, right? So they go through the training, and then they have you take the 7 on Friday and the 63 on Monday. And what they do is it's so dumb. They give you because they have to fit it into the schedule of Notman or STC. They do the 63 class the day before they take the 7. But they get like 3 days to study. So sometimes that's good because if you're blitzing, you're not overthinking. So Maddie, I mean, literally, if you're passing your exams, you're good. You're in good shape. If you're not passing your exams, you got to go. Maybe spend a day reading. Like today, spend Friday reading and then bang out tests Saturday and Sunday. If you're okay and you're borderline, just keep banging out tests. Review the shit out of them. Find what's wrong. Find out why you got it right. And again, remember, things you guessed right. If you get something right because you guessed, you treat that as a wrong answer. That you have to. There's no other way around that. Okay. Okay, wait. When is Simon taking it again? Hold on. Okay, here we go. So now, Noor, I'll do this because technically it can show up. Okay, because I'll do this because I need somebody to owe me their life. I always wanted that. You ever? It's like I want somebody who'll go get me coffee and bring stuff to me. That's all. So I'm going to do this. It's a very low price for me to pay to get someone who like a little indentured servant. Okay, I'm not going to do it. So remember, all of those things are exemption to the Act of 33, and this could be on the 65. So I'm going to do it anyway. So Regulation A is an exemption to the Act of 33 because if you don't raise a lot of money. Like you're raising 75 million or 20 million. Like maybe I'll do that with our tutoring company. We'll do a Reg A, okay? And what happens is because it's so small, you don't have to register with the SEC. But there are two tiers. Tier 1 is up to 20 million, and Tier 2 is up to 75 million. So up to 20 million, Tier 2 is up to 75 million. The bigger one requires more disclosures. And remember, anyone can buy these things. You don't have to be accredited to buy them. However, on the Tier 2, if you're not accredited, you can only buy like 10% of the company, okay? 10% of your income or net worth. Again, Reg A is literally an exemption to the Act of 33. You can sell shares without register. Now, Reg D is the same thing. Reg D is a private placement. You sell to rich people, okay? They're all, for the most part, accredited. Now, when you brought up the 504, 506B, and 506C. So there's 3 levels of Reg D. It depends on what you want. If you're going to raise less than 10 million and you don't care who buys, you do a 504. 504, Reg D, 504 means I'm going to do a private placement, but I'm going to do 10 million or less. I don't really care who buys. 506B, I'm going to do more than 5 million. I have an unlimited amount. However, I can sell to accredited investors, but they do allow me to have up to 35 non-accredited. Now, accredited is 1, 2, 3 accredited, right? 1 million net worth, or 200 salary, or 300 salary if you're married. Or you have the 7 or 65. Okay, the 82 also, but nobody gives a shit about that. Now, if you sell to those people, you can sell to as many as you want and as much money as you want. But if you sell to non-accredited, there's only 35 allowed in the deal. That's it. 35 allowed in the deal. Now, if you really want to do this right, you do a 506C, which is you're selling as much as you want, but 0 unaccredited. Since you're not to sell to any poor people, everyone is accredited who invests. So then you can actually advertise it in the newspaper. Only the 506 is 506C. By the way, only 506, for everyone taking the 65, 60, and 63, only the Reg D 506C is considered federally covered. B and A are not because they allow non-accredited. So we have not all 506C, it makes as much as you want, but it can only be accredited investors. And again, the reason the SEC allows this is because you're only selling to rich people. They have to have like a purchaser's rep helping them out. There's a lot of rules on who can buy it. But because of those rules, they don't make it register with the SEC. What's the last one? 147. By the way, private placement is a 506. But on the state level, we're going to talk about that. So a 147, I always think of Ben & Jerry's. The first time they issued in Vermont only. 147, every one of their investors were from Vermont. So that's a 147. The way I remember that is Ben & Jerry's has 147 flavors. That's how I remember it, okay? So again, and then why is it exempt from registration? From SEC registration? Because it's all in one state. So remember, states have their own rules, okay? Who the hell is calling me? They should know I'm on here. Now, that tells me they don't know my shit. Now, if I do a 147 offering, because I'm only in one state and all my investors are one state, the SEC doesn't ever really have jurisdiction other than anti-fraud. Now, you brought up a great question. There is another type of private placement that the state allows, okay? So the state allows a different kind of private placement, which is it's totally different. So Reg D is a federally covered security. We'll just go with that. It's private placement because it's under the Act of 33 and 34, and 33 for the most part. And it doesn't have to register in the states because it's there. Now, private placement is if you're selling to institutions only, not accredited or non-accredited institutions. So you're selling shares to pretty much like hedge funds, broker-dealers, banks, stuff like that. Okay. All that stuff. You're not selling to retail clients. Now, of course, they let a little exception. So they let you sell to up to 10 retail clients. So you can have 10 retail. What is retail? Living, breathing human being. What's institution? Not. So an institution is like a hedge fund, a bank, an insurance company, a broker-dealer, not IAs. It's weird. Any of these institutions you can sell to all you want because NASAA goes, you know what? Your institutions, they can defend themselves, have at it. So that's also an exempt transaction. So private placement is similar to Reg D in the idea, But in the way it goes is Reg D is accredited versus non-accredited. Private placement on the state level is institutional versus non-institutional. So again, sell to as many accredited Reg D and as many institutions state private placement, but only 35 non-accredited on the Reg D and only 10 retail or non-institutional on the state level. Okay. Okay, here, let me try to read this. Okay. Thanks. I'm sorry for breaking out. I was just foolish to register with only a week of studying. My expired reason for U4 was filed. Oh, that's fine. Okay, so what was he doing? When's he taking? He's taking it tomorrow. Is that what he's doing? Okay. Oh yeah. You're taking it. Don't worry, but you're gonna find you. Look, don't worry about freaking out. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, that's a good attitude. It makes it, if you know that you could just bang out the 63 like 3-4 days later, it makes it easier to take the test, right? So if you go in there thinking, hey, you know what? I'm just going to take the test. And if I miss, I'll just take the 63 a week later. Your score will be better than if you don't have that exit. Having an exit strategy makes life a lot easier. Okay. That's what my wife joked around. She said, marriages should be a 3-year contract. So you have to renew it every 3 years. Okay. I think I wouldn't have made the first option year if that happened. Okay. On exam day, thoughts on reviewing any questions? Okay. No, never change answers. Never. And look, this is what I tell everyone. When you're out, so I'm not a big fan of reviewing anything before. You can do like if you have STC, do the crunch time facts, or Notman has key concepts, or I think Kaplan has like key concepts, some version of it. If you want to watch videos before the day of, that's fine. Now, when you're taking the test, the only time you do, when you finish it, I'm not a big fan of mark for review. You do it if something's 50-50, or it's something you know, but it's a really fucking long question. You don't want to get to it. Now, as far as changing answers, don't do it unless it's punch you in the face wrong. But here's what I'm going to tell you. This is for every exam. So Simon, when you're taking it, when you finish the exam, before you hit submit, just go back and check the first 5 questions. It is so common that everyone's all rusty the first time. Like I had a student today, her first 5 questions were ass. Like I was like, oh my God, how are you taking it this Monday? And then she went on a roll and get like 30 in a row. So, and then we went back and we looked at him. She goes, oh yeah, I made stupid mistakes. So the first 5 questions when you're not in the zone, so that's when you go back. Again, though, you only change it if it's punch you in the face wrong. Okay. I know, listen, real Brazzy, it's none of this shit is easy. Okay. I think the 63 will be the easiest of your exams. Okay. But if you act like it's hard, okay. If you act like it's hard, then it'll be fine. That's what she said. If you act like it's hard, it's going to be, you'll do fine. If you act like it's easy, you fail. So real Brazy, just act like it's a 7, study that hard, read the book, do the questions, and you'll be fine. By the way, the 63 is the only one that I'm a fan of taking questions so your eyes bleed. Everyone else, I want you to do questions and read at the same time. Once you read the book, just bang out questions. And anything get wrong, find the chapter. But, that's the other thing I tell you about. When you get something wrong, don't just look at the explanation. Try to control F it and find it in the PDF of the book and read that paragraph instead of just the answer. Because the answer is specific to that answer, and it's not always a good thing. Okay. Okay, Nor. Okay. I'm going to go back to LSA in a second. Okay. So there's a lot wrong with this. Okay. 1, yes, I agree on the GOAT. But that's the wrong name. Nor, I'm going to say something. And since you owe me your life, you have to agree with me here. LeBron isn't even top 5.
Who are your top 5?
MJ.
Definitely.
MJ. Wilt. Magic. Larry Bird. Kobe. And LeBron. I put Bill Russell up there too, but whatever. So, and I never saw him play. Here's my thing. LeBron has talent. He's probably as talented as all of them. But if you flop, you drop. You cannot be in the top 5 if you flop. And again, he's great. He's good for the teams. But if you flop, you drop. Okay. I like to try to round things. Okay. Now, What? Who's yours? Who's your top 5? You can say LeBron if you want.
I think you pretty much nailed it. LeBron, I always go back and forth with because of his longevity and his health.
Yeah, I get with that.
And the one I have a thing with is Shaq. I feel like he scored so many points from dunks, but I actually looked it up and it wasn't as many as I thought.
Wasn't really? He actually took shots?
Yeah, he actually did.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's interesting. I only remember from dunking, right?
That's all you remember because he was muscling his way through.
Right.
He couldn't shoot a foul shot.
Right. Yeah, I know. Hack-a-Shaq. Remember that?
Yeah. I remember
the whole defense, Hack-a-Shaq. Just foul them and then you get the ball back.
And Kobe and Shaq used to just argue with each other.
Oh, I know. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's go back to I'll say rabbit. Okay, so this could be a long one. Okay, so now actually not that bad. Okay. I'm going to help you out here. So I'm going to see if I can share the screen. That's what happened here. I made this as one of my videos, so you all should fucking watch it. Okay, so I think I got to change. There we go. Oh, look at that. If I do this. Oh, if I take my screen off, you can't hear me. Okay. Ooh, what did I do there? How do I get out of this? Hold on. Oh, there it is. I made it full screen and I couldn't. Okay, now. So here we go. I wish I could make this bigger, but I can't. So here we go. So in this thing. Oh, wait, hold on. Still too big. What can I do? Nope, nothing I can do. So this is in one of my videos. Okay, so now. This is very easy. Everyone should find my video called The Quick and Easy, and I go over this thing. But it's probably in my head. It looked better than it is because I have 3 screens here, so it's not as good. Now, broker-dealers and agents always renew their registration on December 31st. It ends on December 31st at 11:59, and it starts on the 1. So do the IARs. But now remember, it says, when do they have to go into a state? Well, if they have an office or a retail client, they have to go in the state. That's a rule, okay? If they have an office or even a single retail client, they have to register in the state. But they renew on December 31st. Now, broker-dealers register SEC, FINRA, and any state they do business in. Agents register FINRA and the state. This is all my quick and easy. IARs register on the state level only because remember, the SEC does not do individuals. So agents and IARs do not register the SEC. Here's the confusing part about the IAR. If an IAR works for a state advisor, hear me out. If an IAR works for a state advisor, okay? Again, if an IAR works for a state advisor, they register anywhere they have an office or more than 5 clients. If they work for a federal covered advisor, which is one registered with the SEC, they only register where they have an office. They could literally have the entire state of Idaho, all 9 of them, okay, and not have to register if they don't have an office. Once they put an office in the state, they got to register. Because if you work for a federal covered advisor, they're not there. But if you work for a state covered advisor, once you have your 6th client, well, then the IA has to be there anyway. Okay. Hope that helps a little bit, LSA. I think she asked it twice, right? Okay. So state advisors register on the state level, obviously. What would do that? If they're under 100 million, pretty much. If they're over 100 million in assets under management, they can choose state or federal. And again, their shit ends on the 31st also. Now, federal covered advisors are either over 110 million, manage a mutual fund. They're registered in more than 15 states, and they can. Or if they're the pension consultant, will have a pension more than 200 million. But for sure, those are Mays. The have to is over 110, they have to register federally. And if they manage a mutual fund or investment company, they have to register federally. If it's under 100 state, if it's under 110, they can do state or federal. Now, it's interesting. If you start federal, say you start as federal, and today happens, and your assets under management go down to 90, you can stay. Even though you're under 100, you're allowed to stay. You cannot start at 90. Remember that. You cannot start your thing at 95 and go federal. You have to start federal, and then the shit goes wrong like that, the red there. You can stay in as long as you're above 90 or above. If you go below 90, then by 180 days after the next year, which is literally could be a year later, you have to you have to pull your withdrawal due of ADVW by the 180th day after the next year, which is crazy. They can literally give you a year to pull out and get up. Okay. Now, Maria. Okay. Should I be worried about IAR? Okay. Yes. But remember, exempt transactions, hold on a second while I die. Exempt transactions have nothing to do with the IAR. So if you're remember something, if a security is exempt or an exempt transaction, that has nothing to do with your registration. So if you have to register in a state as an IAR or an agent, it's based on what you do, not the transactions. Like, are you have an office? Do you have more than 5 clients? Do you have any retail clients, depending? So I would watch it. It's not going to be heavy. So the exempt transactions, exempt securities will be a little heavier on the 63 than the IAR, but they will absolutely test you on that. The 63 for everyone here is much more about the broker-dealer. Let me stop sharing this thing. The broker-dealer and the agent, but they will absolutely have IAR questions, 100%. Okay. Oh, so Marie, don't worry about it too much. Okay. Okay. How do we get our mojo back? Okay. Well, take a day off. Seriously, you have 2 weeks? I'm not kidding. Take a day off. Go lay out in the sun. I'm not fucking kidding. If you feel that you're struggling in this, change this shit up. Maybe spend a day watching, maybe take a day off and then take a day reading again or watching videos. Look, I'm not saying to do that this kid did, but there was a kid studying for this exam and his scores, I mean, I love the kid. He's on Mike. He couldn't get, no, it was Jamie Sharp. So he couldn't get over high 60s. I mean, literally, I remember all through December, we're trying to get, and he could never get over 60s. It was just a mental block, right? And his mom had booked a trip to Machu Picchu. Is that Peru? I think that is, or one of those. It's Mazatlan, somewhere down there where they walk around the ruins. And he goes, well, I'll study them down there. I said, no, you're not going to fucking study when you're there. You'll be walking up Chipotle Island or something like that. Go to Mazatlan or Chesed, whatever. I'll go with Machu Picchu. You're walking up those things for 8 hours. You walk down. There's no way you're studying during that time. So he didn't study all week. And I go, just don't bother. Because if you try to study and you don't, you feel guilty. It'll fuck with your head. Just enjoy the vacation. He tried to get out of it. I said, no, go. He came back. He was mid-70s, high 80s. Mid-70s, low 80s. Without studying it, so his mind had a chance to go, thank God you're not fucking barraging me. So I'm telling you, Shane Azman, go take a day off. Just take a day off, and then the next day go watch videos or read, then try to contest again. Because if you keep doing the same shit over and over and over again, you're fucked. Okay. And by the way, everyone, if you go to I'm putting this video out on YouTube tomorrow, not the one I'm about to talk about. I just did a video. I think it's very motivational. I just put it on Instagram and TikTok. So if you go check out Serious Seminars on either one of those, it's a good video. It'll make you feel better. It will make you feel better, I promise. Okay. Okay, Marie, don't sweat it too much. Now, okay, STC has what they call the crunch time facts. STC's crunch time facts, it's like 18 pages of just feedback from, like, that's not from the exam so much, but it's like what people think they saw, topics, stuff like that. You have to have it. Okay. MJ, thank you. See? You're great. Greg Killian, that is awesome. Okay. Boom. That is awesome. That is outstanding. Boom. I love it. I am so happy for you. We got to do a good one for you. What's a good one? I don't know. I don't think that's what we want. I don't know what this is. We're going to try. I can't read it. No, not again. Damn it.
Hey, Ken.
What?
Before you go to the video, I just want to say that there wasn't any Magical Tuesday. So I believe that Greg probably put in a lot of effort, because it sounds like, you watched this one video, your one class on Tuesday, and passed the exam.
Oh, yeah, true. That's fair. Oh, yes, that's fair. So, no. Let's go with that lie. That all Greg did was watch my video for one day and I passed it. No, I'm kidding.
No.
So Greg obviously did work. As I tell everyone, you're not passing the exam unless you do the work. So Greg obviously worked his ass off to pass this hard test. It is not an easy test. I swear to God.
Gotta get that. Gotta get that. Boom, boom, boom. Gotta get that. Boom, boom, boom. Gotta get that. Boom, boom.
I won't do the whole 30 seconds. That's awesome, though. Okay. Yeah, so that's a good question. So here's the thing. The mutual fund, this is a good question, but I've never seen them ask this thing. If you're to be an investment advisor that's federal covered, you have to have your customers a mutual fund or be advisor for a mutual fund. Now, it's pretty much any amount, but the deal is a mutual fund is registered with the SEC once it has over $100,000, not 100 million, 100 grand. So pretty much any mutual fund, it's under 100 grand. It's not a mutual fund. It's just nothing. But the point is, it's not any amount, but it's over 100 grand. I've never seen them ask that question before because I can guarantee there are probably no mutual funds under 100 grand because it probably costs that much to run the damn thing. Okay. Taking the 6 on Wednesday. What are your best tips for studying these last 5 days? Okay, TestGeek is great. ExamFX is okay. TestGeek videos are good. His tests are fun. His tests are pretty good. The last 5 days, you're taking it Wednesday? Okay. That's what happens when I don't do this. I didn't do that video here, so it comes up. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, take tests. Watch the videos, review everything. Do a final a day. Don't do more than one because you're taking 65. Yeah, that's 100. That's 3 hours, right? Do one test, review the shit out of it. Anything under like a 70, try to figure out what's under 70. Watch videos. Either watch my videos, watch his videos, whatever it is. He has great stuff, okay? His videos are great. I think his videos for the 65, 66 are his best test. The 63, 65, 66 is his best stuff. The 7 and the 24, he's okay. The 24 stuff, he's a little outdated, but he has good stuff. It's just his 65, 66 is spot on. Really good stuff. Then the day before, no testing. No testing. Watch my crash course. Watch anything he has that's last minute stuff. Read about trusts and estates and customer accounts. Around dinner time, you're done. Go out to dinner, enjoy your life a little bit, and go. That's where it is. Okay. Look, we made it to the end. So, by the way, the I'm a believer thing from the monkeys, I just got warned, just stop being a revenue share. So I have to delete it. I can't have it on here anymore because it'll just block the like I don't care if they keep it, but they for some reason whenever the music changes ownership, they change the rules. Okay. So I have to keep on my toes on that. So thank you for answering the question. Yeah, Shane, not a problem. I love it. Okay. It's 9:05. We made it. It's funny. At 8:25, I was thinking this is so slow. I'm not going to make it to 8:30. It always happens with the Thursday night one. It's always like, it's like it's either go great, like 80 people, or like 25. But this, I think 25 to 30 is like the perfect number. I mean, I'm okay with more, obviously, but I think in the 25 to 40 range, because then what happens is I get like 30 minutes behind, people lose track and stuff like that. Okay, so the most important thing we got out of this meeting, out of this thing, is that MJ is the greatest basketball player to ever live. I think that's the most important. So tomorrow morning, when you're going, what did I get out of that? It's going to be that MJ is the best. Okay, everyone, I love doing this. It's 9:06. Where are your children? Do you ever see that joke that back then in the 80s, they used to have to do a thing 10 o'clock and ask parents where their children were because they didn't give a shit. Okay, back to this. We're going to be done. I think that's it. We're going to good. Everyone taking it tomorrow. Simon, tell me you're going to pass, Simon. Anyone taking it before next Thursday? Before I go, I want to see you type in, I'm going to pass this test. So Simon, I need you to say it. Abby, I need Abby. You got to say it. Anyone else taking it? Anyone taking the test before the next time we go? I need you to say on here you're going to pass. You got to say it. It feels good. And when you type it in, I want you to say it out loud. I'll know. I will absolutely know if you say that or not out loud. You really got to be there. You got to be on this. The problem is there's a 30-second delay, so I have to give it time. So we're just going to have dead air for the next 30 seconds until people start saying it. I will not kill this thing, nor will I answer another question until I will pass from at least 3 people. I need that from, and Jeff, don't you type it in just to get me out of here. Okay. Boom. Boom. Noor, I love it. Boom. Okay. Evan, that's awesome. Get it going, baby. If you're passing, that's the other thing. So I'm going to tell everyone, if you're not sure when to take it, okay? There you go. I like that, Evan. I like it. If you're not sure when to take it, this is my rule. Well, Jeff's is a good one when you know why they're tricking you, right? But the next one is, okay? The next one is when you pass 3 in a row and it's not from guessing, book it the next week. Maybe Simon left. Simon says, I'm going to pass the test. Somebody else was taking it tomorrow too, right? I can't remember. I thought somebody else was taking it. Maybe not. And if you're still here, I'm trying to put more 66 up at some point. Okay. Well, I guess I'm leaving. No one's going to pass, right? I guess that's it. So Nora's going to pass. Everyone else who's on here should be saying going to pass. We're going to get through this. Okay. Everyone, have a great weekend. And by the way, I'm going to say this right now, just because the market's red, don't panic. There is a term that has been worked for years, okay? Just remember this. When there's blood, you ever hear the term when there's blood in the streets? You know what it says? It's time to buy property. So when other people are panicking, that's the time to step up and buy. I'm not saying today is a day. It's already too late. I'm not saying, but pay attention. At some point, you're going to April 12th again. At some point, you're going to start seeing it turn. Because remember, here's what I think is very funny. Has he not been warning about doing this for the last 2 months? I mean, he hasn't been hiding it. He has not been hiding that he was going to do tariffs. So we're going to go, thank you, Cody. Make me feel better. Now we can go. Okay. So what I'm saying, we know it's going to happen. I'm not giving advice at all. I'm just saying everyone pay attention and look for the turn. And when it turns, that's when you jump in. Like my wife's line is, when it gets low, she won't buy at the low. But when it's up a little bit, when it starts a momentum going up, that's when she jumps in. What works? She's a Bitcoin trader now. It's funny. I thought I was just talking to her the other day, and in my mind I thought she had like 1,000 here, 1,000 there on Bitcoin. Oh no, it's like 35 grand. It's
cold
crazy.
Storage.
What?
She doing cold storage?
I don't know what she's doing. I don't know. She may, but no, she's trading. I think she got out. She went in it like in the 60s, got out at like 100, and then got out like 88, like 85. I don't know where it is now, but and then she's gonna go back in again. Boom. Yeah, look, Mazzy, right? Golden era is about to come. Boom. Thank you, Andrea. Thank you. There's another one. I like it. I love it. Okay. We like to think that's the thing. So whether I'm right or wrong, it doesn't matter. I like to think positive because I wish I had money in 2008, and I wish I had more money in 2020. I wish I had money in 2000. Every 87, I was still in college, so I didn't know. Okay, Zach, thank you. Boom. Okay, here we go. Here we go. One question. I had a question on this. It said, "Ooh, yeah, it doesn't matter." Friends and family they do. I mean, I assume I'm going to show yes. That's solicitation. It's not advertising because it's one letter. But here's the thing. They do not give NASA does not give any special dispensation for family. So like under FINRA, this is a good question. Under FINRA, agents and IARs, agents can lend to customers if they're family, no problem, borrow and lend. Under the state rules, they can't. They go and you think, oh, it's not sure. NASA actually wrote a letter to FINRA. It's open. It's somewhere on the web. Somewhere on there. If you do a deep dive, which sometimes I do. Like 2 a.m, I start diving deep. They sort of letter saying to FINRA, please change it because we think that's unethical to go to borrow and lend from family, which I don't understand, but whatever. NASA has some crazy rules. Like, do you know what Jeff, do you know what MQP is? That thing where you have to extend your license? So, after you leave, everyone, it's by the way, for the test, it's called the EVP. EVP is extending value proficiency or something like that. So if you leave, we all know that your license expires after 2 years if you're not out of a job. Well, if you do the EVP or on the FINRA side, the MQP, you can get another 3 years out of it. So I'm doing that. I'm in the MQP program. I'm going to make a video of me doing it. I had that. FINRA wanted to do 7 years. That because they said the biggest thing was that it gave women a chance, like women who want to stay home with their children. So this way, their kids can get into kindergarten, then they come back without having to take the test again, right? So and maternity leave, but the state said no. The states were like, no, we don't want it. So they came up with 3 years. They want to make not 7 additional. They wanted it to be 7 total, 2 plus 5, right? So then the states really balked at it. They came back and forth, and that was it. And then they settled on 3, and now the states are doing 3 also. Not every state allows it, but it's getting there. So guys, remember this. Oh, a couple of things. I did the video on this. CE. See, I'm not going to get off here. CE. You're going on the 65 and 66. You're at least half. You're going to get a question on continuing education. Remember, you need 12 credits. You cannot roll. If you do extra, you cannot roll it over. That somebody got a question on that. It's 6 ethics and whatever, and the other 6 is like products. You can use, with FINRA, you need to do continuing ed. You can use that for the 6 for the products, but the ethics have to be done strictly for IAs, IARs. People are getting question notes. You need 12, 6 ethics, 6 product. You cannot roll it over to the next year if you do too many. And you can use the FINRA stuff for the 6 product ones, not the ethics. And that is a way to end on this one. Okay, everyone, you all have a good night and have a great weekend. And